Hello, spiritual seekers. I am Archana Raghuram and welcome back to Temples, Books and Science. Before I begin, I have a small request. Please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for notifications. This will ensure that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And to help this wisdom reach more spiritual seekers, please like this video and share it with many people. Now let's get started. As I mentioned in the last video, we are now approaching the most intricate and profound concepts in our journey towards understanding Brahman. The upcoming names will guide us into what it truly means to be Brahman, described in the most subtle and nuanced terms. The next name, the 176th name, Nirvikalpā, is one of the most challenging yet crucial to grasp. It describes the state of ultimate realization, a direct experience of that liberated, undifferentiated reality. The term Nirvikalpa is a profound concept often encountered in yogic traditions. Imagine how we usually see the world. We perceive a chair, a table, a person, a tree. We give them names. They have different forms or shapes. They belong to various classes like furniture or living beings, and they possess unique attributes such as color, size, or specific qualities. Our mind constantly makes these distinctions, separating one thing from another. This act of distinguishing and characterizing is precisely what Vikalpa means. It's how our everyday mind works, always dividing reality into separate pieces. Now, Nirvikalpa simply means without these distinctions. It's a state where you don't perceive things as separate anymore. You don't see a chair, a table, or a person as different entities. Instead, it's a profound experience where everything, whether it's something you perceive as an object or even yourself as the subject, is understood as being completely one with Brahman. It's like seeing the entire universe as a single, seamless, undifferentiated whole without any labels or boundaries. This name therefore points towards a very specific state of meditative absorption known as Samadhi Sthiti. In the realm of Samadhi, there are primarily two types. The first is called Savikalpa Samadhi. This is a state where you achieve single-pointed focus by concentrating on a particular form, a mantra, or an object. Even while deeply absorbed, you still experience your mind and the object on which it is focusing as two different entities. Even in the deepest state of Savikalpa Samadhi, a duality persists. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, however, transcends Savikalpa. Here, there is no differentiation between the meditator and that which is being meditated upon. This is a state of pure, undifferentiated awareness where the individual consciousness merges seamlessly with the universal consciousness. It is the direct, non-conceptual experience of Brahman itself. To fully appreciate Nirvikalpa, let us take a brief detour to the 254th name, Dhyanadhyatru Dhyeya Rupa. This name translates to she who is the personification of the process of meditation, the person who meditates, and the object being meditated upon. In simple terms, it means she is the subject, object, and the action. Every experience in the world of Maya inherently involves this fundamental triad. There is the experiencer, which is you, the observer or enjoyer. Then there is the object of experience, the thing being observed or enjoyed. And finally, there is the process of experiencing, the act itself, which connects the experiencer and the object. Take the example of watching TV. You are the person watching. The show is what is being telecast, And the act of sitting with your eyes open and mind absorbing the show is the process of watching. Vedanta teaches that in ultimate reality, there is no difference between these three entities. All three components of this triad, the experiencer, the experienced, and the process of experiencing, are in essence one and the same Brahman. But here's the catch: even while we may be intellectually convinced of this truth, it doesn't translate into our lived experience. It is only in Nirvikalpa Samadhi that these three distinct entities, the experiencer, the experienced, and the process of experiencing, completely dissolve. Even the individual mind, which normally persists as a separate entity, even in deeply focused meditation, ceases to exist in its differentiated form. In this ultimate state, your mind dissolves into the universal, undifferentiated awareness. This very universal awareness of Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari. That is the profound truth that the name Nirvikalpa conveys. She is that ultimate distinctionless reality, the pure consciousness that is experienced directly when all differentiations cease. We now turn our attention to the 177th name, Nirābādhā. Nirābādhā means she who is not affected by the illusion of Maya. This name tells you what it means to be Nirvikalpa. When all the distinctions and differences that our mind creates dissolves, when Brahman becomes your lived reality rather than just an intellectual concept, you are no longer affected by the world of Maya. Your Atma, your true self, is the pure consciousness that witnesses the entire play of Maya. But more importantly, it is never affected by it. The world of names and forms, with all its inherent dualities like joy and sorrow, gain and loss, and its perceived imperfections, ceases to have any real impact on your core being. These dualities and imperfections might still affect your body and your mind as long as you are living, but they cannot touch or disturb the pure, all-pervading consciousness which is your Atma. In essence, Nirābādhā describes the unwavering, unshakable nature of the liberated being, whose consciousness remains pristine and unaffected no matter what external circumstances or internal mental fluctuations arise. It's the ultimate state of inner peace and resilience, born from the direct experience of your oneness with the divine. We now turn to the 178th name, Nirbhedā. Nirbhedā literally translates to she is without differences. This name is a cornerstone concept in Advaita Vedanta, a philosophy that proclaims Ekam Advitiyam Brahma. Brahman is one without a second. When there is only one ultimate reality, how can there be any differences? Nirbhedā asserts the absolute absence of all distinctions in this ultimate reality, and its meaning unfolds in many profound levels. First, Nirbhedā addresses the fundamental illusion or Maya that veils the true nature of reality. This illusion is our constant perception of duality, the ingrained idea that there are separate entities such as God and the soul, or the subject and the object, or even the individual and the vast world. Nirbhedā directly asserts the absence of all such differences in the ultimate reality, dissolving this illusion. Secondly, this name powerfully asserts that there is no difference between Shiva and Shakti, or indeed between Brahman and the universe itself. Nirbhedā proclaims that these are not two separate entities, but two inseparable aspects of the same ultimate reality. It means that the divine power of Shakti that creates and sustains the universe is non-different from the pure consciousness, Shiva, that is the very essence of your own Atma. Finally, Nirbhedā also asserts that there is no difference between individual self Atma and the universal self Brahman. When the profound truth of Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, becomes a direct lived experience, the individual perceives no difference between themselves and the divine, or truly between themselves and any other being. This leads to the experience of Sarvatma Bhava, realizing the whole universe as their own self. Now, let's understand the key distinction between Nirbhedā and Nirvikalpa, although they appear very similar in meaning. Think of it this way. Nirvikalpa means your mind stops seeing separate things and stops making up distinctions. It's like your internal camera finally stops labeling and categorizing everything. But Nirbhedā goes a vital step further. It means that reality itself is actually without any real divisions or separations. It's not just your mind stopping its work, it's the profound realization that there genuinely are no separate things in the ultimate sense. Everything is truly one, all the way down to the very core of existence. The next name, Bhedanāśinī, illuminates the active aspect of this truth. Bhedanāśinī literally means she who destroys differences. As the very personification of Atma Jnanam or self-knowledge, Lalita Devi is Bhedanāśinī. She is the embodiment of this knowledge that sees no distinctions, and therefore she grants this very state of non-difference to her devotees. This is a beautiful principle woven throughout these names. Whatever is her true nature, her tattvam, she graciously bestows upon those who seek her. We now arrive at two deeply intertwined names that speak to the very essence of existence and the ultimate liberation from fear. Nirnāśā, Mrityumathani. We will delve into these two names together as they perfectly describe the indestructible nature of Brahman and its implication for our own Atma. First, Nirnāśā means she has no destruction or she can never be destroyed. This is why Devi is described as Anadi and Anantam, beginningless and endless. Brahman, the ultimate reality, has no origin and therefore it can have no end. It is the eternal, immutable truth that underlies all of creation. This name beautifully encapsulates the timeless and imperishable nature of the Divine Mother. Following this, from the perspective of our individual being, she is Mrityumathani, the destroyer of death. This powerful name does not imply that we will somehow live eternally in a physical body, avoiding the natural process of bodily demise. Instead, it signifies a much deeper, more profound victory. By helping us realize that we are not this perishable body and mind, but rather the all-pervading eternal Brahman, she helps us conquer death. It is by helping us fundamentally change our perspective, shifting our identification from the temporary physical form to the eternal, all-pervading Atma, that she helps us conquer death. The physical body will no doubt perish, but our Atma, our true self, can never die. So Mrityumathani means she destroys the very fear of death, or more accurately, the illusion of death, by the radiant light of Jnanam, true knowledge. These two names beautifully reinforce why Brahman is described as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam, truth, because Brahman is the only truly real, unchanging thing in the entire universe. Jnanam, knowledge, because knowing this Brahman is the only way to be freed from all suffering, including death. So, Jnanam or knowledge is synonymous to immortality. Jnanam is Amritam. Lastly, Anantam, infinite or endless, because Brahman is beginningless and endless, transcending all limitations of time and space. What is truly remarkable about these two names, Nirnāśā and Mrityumathani, is how succinctly they summarize a pivotal verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna describes this to Arjuna. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva vinashyantam yaf pashyati sa pashyati. The Supreme Parameshwara, the indestructible truth, resides equally in all beings. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. There is an indestructible core within everything that appears to be destroyed. Vinashyatsva vinashyantam. That indestructible entity is the only reality. The person who truly understands and sees this imperishable truth within the perishable is the one who really sees. Yaf pashyati sa pashyati. This is the essence of Nirnāśā, the indestructible divine, and Mrityumathani, the destroyer of death through the realization of our own indestructible nature. We now arrive at three interconnected names that illuminate the very essence of Brahmanhood itself: Nishkriya, Nishparigraha, and Nisthula. We'll explore these names together as they take us to the subtlest layer of understanding Brahman. Let's begin with their literal translations. Nishkriya means she is actionless or she does not do anything. Nishparigraha means she does not take or receive anything. Nisthula means she is incomparable or there is nothing you can compare her with. Now, let us dive deep into what exactly these names mean in the context of Brahma Swaroopam, the true nature of Brahman. At first glance, Nishkriya might feel like a contradiction. We began the Sahasranamam with an elaborate description of Lalita Devi's powerful battle with Bandasura. She seems to be full of action. So, how can we say she does not do anything? To understand this, let us revisit the famous dream analogy of Vedanta. Imagine you are dreaming. Within your dream, you might be doing many things, talking to other people, running, eating, experiencing a whirlwind of events. But are these truly your actions? The actions of the real you who is sleeping peacefully in your bed? No, the real you, the one experiencing the dream, is doing nothing. It is merely witnessing the dream unfold. Similarly, this entire world of Maya is full of actions. There are countless things happening all the time. Yet, the unchanging Atma, the Paramatma which resides in every being, is fundamentally Nishkriya. It does not do anything in terms of involvement in karma. That is why Atma has no punyam and no papam, because it is a non-doer. The karmas and their results belong to the body and mind, not to the Atma. It is very important to understand what this actually means in practice. You cannot claim, since the Atma does not do anything, I can go and murder someone and assert I am not the doer. While it's true that your Atma is the non-doer, your body and mind are the instruments of action. So any punishment or consequence you receive belongs to the body and mind. In any case, the all-pervading Atma cannot be contained within a jail cell, but your body and mind certainly can. Nishkriya is the characteristic of Atma and Brahman, not the characteristic of the body and mind. As long as you are identified with the body and mind, the karmas and their consequences also belong to you. Nishparigraha, meaning she does not take or receive anything, is a beautiful complement to Nishkriya. Since the ultimate reality, Brahman or Atma, does not truly do anything in the transactional sense, it also does not receive anything in return. Going back to our dream analogy, imagine you win $1 million in the lottery in your dream. Will that make you a millionaire in reality when you wake up? Whatever good or bad things happen in your dream, you, the real you, do not bear the consequences of any of those things. Similarly, as Atma Swaroopam, you are like Lalita Sundari, Nishparigraha. You do not inherently receive anything, nor do you take anything from the realm of action and consequence, because you are beyond its dualities. This profound truth that Atma is untouched by the actions and results of the phenomenal world is what Shankaracharya beautifully conveys in this exquisite verse. Aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. This translates to I am not the experience, not the object of experience, not even the one who experiences. I am Chidananda Rupam. I am Shiva. This verse perfectly encapsulates the essence of Nishkriya and Nishparigraha, highlighting that the true self is beyond all transactions, participations, or reception of worldly outcomes. Given that Brahman is Nishkriya, actionless, and Nishparigraha, non-receiving, it logically follows that Nisthula, meaning she is incomparable, is also her inherent characteristic. What can you compare that fundamental reality to? Consider your dream world again. What is everything in your dream made up of? The entire dream world, from the tiniest stone to the vast sky that appears in your dream, is a product of your own consciousness. They are nothing but your consciousness manifested. Yet, can you point to any one thing in your dream and say, this looks exactly like my consciousness, or this feels exactly like my consciousness? No, consciousness cannot be compared to anything within your dream. It does not look or feel like any object there because it is the very substratum of it all. Similarly, Brahman or Atma is the very substance and source of everything in this waking world. It is the unmanifested ground from which all names and forms arise. Therefore, it transcends all comparisons to anything within the manifested universe. It does not look or feel like any object we perceive, and no worldly thing can fully describe its nature. Hence, it is truly Nisthula, incomparable. I will pause here for today. We have now covered a significant portion of these profound names, delving into the very essence of Brahman's nature and how it reflects our own self. We have 3 more beautiful names remaining in this series of names, which we will explore in our next video, part 26 of the Lalita Sahasranamam series. May the divine grace of Lalita Sundari dismantle all obstacles in your path and lead you to the realization of your inherent liberated self. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste.